Welcome to today's webinar. Our topic today is healing and building protective factors for youth through Indigenous art. My name is BC Echohawk, and I'm a member of the Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma. On behalf of the Native Connections team and contracting officer representatives Maureen Madison and Jan Dunbar Cooper, thank you all for joining us. Today we'll discuss how Indigenous art can be a protective factor for our Native youth, as well as see examples of what programs are doing in their communities. You're welcome to share your thoughts and comments at any time. Use the raise hand function and we'll call on you for comments. Also, feel free to enter questions or comments in the chat box anytime during the session. But first, as we always do, we're going to open in a good way. Doing that for us today is one of our presenters, Mitchell Colley, a member of the Kickapoo tribe of Oklahoma. Mitchell?
Thank you very much for introducing me. My name is Mitchell Colley. I am a enrolled member of the Kickapoo tribe of Oklahoma. I'm also um, Shawnee, Kiowa, and Cheyenne as well. And I am with the Native. I am the project coordinator for the Native Connections grant here in McLeod, Oklahoma. And I wanted to share a poem that I wrote for everyone this morning to kind of open up in a good way. Creator, I ask you, bless us all with your loving feeling and strengthen all those today that may need your healing. And keep each and every one of us surrounded by your love and keep a watchful eye on us as you watch from up above. And give us the strength to make it through our days and help us to continue to preserve our traditional ways. Thank you all once again.
All right. Thank you so much, Mitchell. I appreciate you sharing those words because they've got a good message. And I always appreciate positive messages. So, well, thank you, Mitchell. And hello there. This is our welcome and introductions. I wanted to introduce myself and then pass it over to my colleagues who are here, your hosts for the webinar. My name is Julie White Pigeon. I'm a grantee technical assistant, and I'm a member of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe of Michigan in Mount Pleasant. I've been with the Native Connections Tribal TTA Center for 4 years, and I have grantees. I work with grantees in California, Maine, New York, New Mexico, and Wisconsin. And I'm a powwow dancer. I enjoy going to powwows and dancing, and I enjoy learning about traditional teachings. So thank you and welcome. And let me pass this over to Elwood.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elwood Pipestem Ott. I'm a grantee technical assistant, and I'm a member of the Oto Missouri tribe of Oklahoma. Thank you all for joining us. Looking forward to the presentations. And now we'll turn it over to Marie.
Good morning, good afternoon. Sugule Sagwe, Kajijololux Neongets, Atnawa, Niwagitalot, Oniata Aga, Niwagihanjot. My name is Marie Schuyler Drever. I am a grantee technical assistant here with the Tribal Training and Technical Assistance Center. I've been here as well for 4 years, and I serve grantees that are on my portfolio from Alaska all the way to Michigan. So welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Marie. I really enjoyed when we were working on planning this webinar, because we wanted to have this webinar so that we can help participants think of ways to approach integrating Indigenous art into their Native Connection program. When I think of art, I consider our cultural and spiritual well-being, and that ties in the 4 aspects of human nature: our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Indigenous art blends all aspects of human nature and creativity and expression of what's a good life. An elder once told me that when we're not busy working or playing, we are creating. We're dancing, we're praying, and all of it makes up for good life, which in my Ojibwe language is Bimadzuin. So here we're helping our youth find that good life So it drives the activities of our Native Connections programs. So we have presenters to discuss how they bring aspects of art to help youth in their healing journey. Next slide. Marie?
Thank you, Julie. It takes me over to our objectives for this webinar today. So today we are going to be learning about Indigenous art supports and our sense of connection for youth. We're going to also be discussing how Indigenous art increases protective factors for youth. We're going to be exploring how youth programs can introduce Indigenous art to youth and discussing our youth creating Indigenous arts. So now I send it back over to you. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, Marie. And here we have our guest speakers. I want to welcome them and thank them for being here to share with us, because they've got some innovative art programs that they're doing with their youth. And it's not just 2D art. It's not just painting and art that we might think of, but also performing art and other types of art, poetry. So what I'd like to do now is to introduce you to an awesome person, Brenna Deppis. Brenna Deppis is our first speaker, and she's with Indigenous Peoples Task Force from Minneapolis, Minnesota. She's going to be talking about her poetry and youth programs. Brenna is a dynamic project director at Indigenous Peoples Task Force, and she's been there since 2010, working with youth programs. She's got an incredible intern program with 16 interns, and as well as a youth theater ensemble. Brenna really makes a difference in the urban Minneapolis Native community. And I just want to say that she's a delight to work with. I enjoy being her GTA. So I'd like to turn this over to Brenna Deppis at this time. Brenna?
All right. Thank you, Julie. We are definitely enjoying being grantees. And so I work at Indigenous Peoples Task Force in Minneapolis. And today I'm going to introduce everyone to two examples of poetry by Native youth. And so Richard Gates is with us today, and he is a member of the Akitawan Acting Ensemble and our e-cig prevention group called Siggy Ain't Jiggy. And he's been part of our youth programming and arts since 2022. And then we'll have another example of poetry by Peyton Lonehill. And so she is part of our internship program, and she's Ogallala Lakota, and her internship site is at Wakan TP. And so that's sort of an environmental protection organization, and they do a lot of cultural activities, and they're preserve a sacred site over on the Mississippi River. And so poetry is a part of almost all of our programming, just because there's so much freedom and opportunity for youth to express themselves and to create their own message and sort of help convey the way that they see the world. So yeah. So first, I think, so this is a poem that Peyton wrote. And so when Peyton created this poem, we were talking about how there's sort of lessons and teachings all around us from the natural world, and you sort of have to pay attention and see how things that you notice might apply to your life or help guide you. And so there is you can see that Peyton wrote the poem about snakes, and I personally am a little squeamish when it comes to snakes, so I don't always watch the video, but the words are beautiful. So if you're not a big fan of snakes, you might want to glance away.
Snake, please slither to me, wrap around my arms. Tell me, what do you see? That tongue, what is it you smell? How do you love, snake? Do you hide from this world? Do you burrow into the deep? Can I hide with you? Are you scared like me? Or are you waiting? Are you waiting for the perfect moment to strike? To show yourself to the world? Did you know, Snake? They call you a liar. They say you're scary, gross, or ugly. How do you live with that reputation? I wonder if they know that the last thing your prey feels is your tight embrace. I wonder if they know about the beautiful patterns that run down your body. How could you not tell them? Please, please show me. Show me how to shed my own skin, deep into the dirt. How do I give birth to my new self? How do I let it all go? Please, Snake, I need to know. Slither into my hair. Whisper me your strengths. I promise I'll see them as truths. Embrace me tightly. I need to understand you. Please, Snake, show me how to move in this earth.
I really appreciate how Peyton's poem, to me, some of the things I relate to is just, maybe we've been in situations where we felt like our reputation didn't match who we are. And, um, you know, if you think about a snake who is able to just sort of ignore some of that sound around them and not let it bother you, and just the beauty that is part of a snake. And yeah, there were lots of different things, and so hopefully one part of that poem kind of spoke to you. And so yeah. So now, yeah, Richard will share a poem of his.
Vapes may cause an effect that might not be direct. However, one mistake, just one, can cause more than a heartache. It's worse than cigarettes, giving the people around you many regrets. Nicotine is highly, highly addictive and can harm parts of your brain that control mood and learning. But do as you please. Keep taking that hit so you feel like you have an escape. And that poem was about like how vapes can affect the people around you and like your moods and the body parts of like how your lungs feel, your brain feels. And for me, art is important to me because you get to express emotion. It brings joy and happiness for me. Joining Kieta when I was a freshman was the first time I started doing poetry and theater performances. I like that you can explore something that you never knew you had before. You can bring your true self out, have new experience, and even have a family environment. This poem was a part of a performance at a Minnesota Health Department Youth Summit. The purpose was to educate teens on the way that commercial tobacco is targeting Native teens and people of color. When teens go to the store, they can easily purchase vapes or cigarettes without showing ID. That's why teens need to keep getting educated. Traditional tobacco is more important, and we can care it more than commercial tobacco. My friend Michael's poem said, what traditional tobacco means to me is putting down my asema for people in need. Right now, there's a lot of people who's in need. Here in Minneapolis, there's a lot of people who need support. Whether it's homelessness or people using drugs. His words was really stand out to me. Vaping can really harm your health and your life, and you can't go back and undo it. your life is changed forever.
Cool. Yeah, great job, Richard. And I guess I'll just share. So at IPTF, we've been doing youth art programming even long before I arrived. And so Richard comes to group generally on Tuesday after school, and then they have longer Saturday practices from like 10 to 3. And so just knowing that, like I said, it's been, more than a couple years that Richard has been working on his skills as an artist, and then multiple times a week, and sometimes like intensive weeks to get prepared. And so I'm really grateful that he's part of our group. And then just like he said, the influence of his peers, like having other artists around in the group where self-expression is sort of supported and safe. Really some amazing things are created. Yeah, thank you. All right, and then I'll just briefly touch on this. So this year is our second Native Connections grant, and so during the first time when we were in cohort 3, one of the kind of community awareness things that we created was these are posters from bus shelters around Minneapolis in the metro area. And so you can see the 2 posters, the teal one and the purple one, those both feature poetry that was written by some Native youth in our program. And so kind of followed the same format and activity as Peyton's snake poem. And then the middle poster was actually, so one of our community elders is Blackfeet. And so one of her presentations included the image of the bear and then the traditional language. And then the quote is from, I think it was a book, A Great Day Awakening or something like that. And so talking about the dangers of silence. And so I think that is always a good reminder that it's good to speak out. Thank you.
Awesome. Brenna, it just really touches me when I get to hear youth voice. And I think that's what is so wonderful about Indigenous Peoples Task Force, is that that's what we get loud and clear, is the youth voice from the youth. And I think you do a spectacular job of promoting that and bringing up our generations of creative speakers and sharers, because that message is so important. And it really does provide a good path for our young people. And the Minneapolis bus stops, I just wish I could be there, to have been there, to be able to see that display of pride, that display of the positive messages, and being able to, to promote that healing in our communities that we need so much. So thank you so much, Brenna. I appreciate that. Okay, all right. Well, let's take a look. We've got some more folks that are joining us today. And what I'd like to do is to shift over to Rafaela Sanchez. And she's going to talk about our Pueblo of Pewaukee youth hoop dancers. Rafaela is from Pueblo of Pewaukee, and she's the Youth Empowerment Program Coordinator for Pewaukee. And they have a hoop dance program, pretty spectacular. It's been running for many years, and they provide dance training for hoop dancing. But in addition, they've expanded into providing beadwork and regalia making for youth and families. Their Native Connections provides Path to Wellness, and they've got a very active youth council, as well as many substance misuse prevention activities and suicide prevention activities. So Rafaela, I'd like to welcome you and invite you to tell us about the Youth Hoop Dance Program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rafaela Sanchez, and I am with the Pueblo of Pewaukee Youth Empowerment Program Coordinator program. Sorry, we're actually filming out of Texas right now, and we're from New Mexico. So we've been having to adjust usually. I guess that's how youth programs are, right? We always have to figure out how to adapt to our surroundings. And I think that's how youth hoop dancing is as well, which you'll see. You know, our program began in 2012 with the youth hoop dancers under the instruction of Nakota Lawrence. Our program has always been grant led. We've always tried to figure out how to continue our hoop dancing program, you know, throughout the years. And it was really cool to kind of see how it expanded and evolved, which we will get through in the presentation. When we first started, we had about 15 youth hoop dancers. And if you can see, you know, this next one, that is some of our little youth hoop dancers. What we've noticed in our hoop dancing program is we've had a lot of mentorships, leadership opportunities. When we first started, our youngest hoop dancer was about 3 years old. And that kid is actually, that was probably, they were 2 years old because they're like around 13 now, almost 14. So it's really cool to see how they've grown through the process. It's allowed them to develop leadership abilities because they do want to teach their younger siblings or their younger cousins, and it just gives them a sense of ownership and belonging. They want to be able to help. If they see a child that needs help, they'll go and, you know, help them with a routine or help them with their dances. Next slide. So you see there, that's one of our younger hoop dancers. He's 13 now, and he's probably one of the older ones. The oldest one there, he actually just won the world championship. Our youth hoop dancing group, when we first began in 2012, it actually expanded to 3 different hoop dancing groups, which is amazing because it's broadened our reach to more youth within the community and has allowed for more kids to be able to join. And when we go to Arizona in February for the youth hoop dancing championships, you'll see Poaka has a huge group, lots of Poaka dancers that go down, especially in the New Mexico area. We have a lot that come with different groups. It has built a natural leadership within the children because a lot of the older ones, they've become teachers as well. And so they've helped to engage the younger kids. And then the younger kids really look to the older kids and are very inspired and want to be just like them. And so through the youth hoop dancing, we only ever really concentrated on the hoop dancing, but the Native Connections helped us to actually expand that even more. Because what we've noticed within the hoop dancing group is that you have to continue to bring resources in to continue to inspire them. So that way they can also continue to evolve within their abilities. So if you go to the next slide. So that's our hoop dancing group this last February. And it's evolved, like you'll see the older ones that were babies in the beginning are now the older ones. And then we have a lot of younger kids that are there. With Native Connections, this has helped with our expansion to evolve into what it is now. A lot of the hoop dancing parents, they like to participate, and a lot of our programming with the Native Connections has helped us to develop hoop dancing classes or making the hoops, making their regalia. So we have a lot of sewing machines. We have we bring the kids in. We've taught the older kids how to sew, so they'll teach the younger kids how to sew. beating. A lot of the parents come in, they teach the older kids teach the younger kids, and it naturally brings in the inspiration and mentorship programs within the community. I know I skipped over a lot of things. I don't want to miss anything, but so a lot of the things that the kids need through hoop dancing, we have the classes to be able to teach them to be able to continue within their programs, and they basically make whatever they utilize for hoop dancing. And a lot of the older ones, now that we do have Native connections, it actually helped us to bring in our youth council. A lot of the older ones have joined our youth council, and we had just brought them back from Unity, which they were able to meet with other youth council members from other tribes around the area and bring in more information, and has motivated them more to be able to take a step to be like, hey, we need to make sure we do this, or we implement this, or how do we bring in these other things. A lot of our younger hoop dancers, 10 or 11, we usually have 13 and up that do our youth council, but the 10 and 11-year-olds are wanting to join because they see the older kids there, and they're like, well, I really want to do that as well. So you see a lot of the younger kids wanting to do what the older kids do, and it's inspiring because they're all wanting to make a difference. And I feel like that has been in a lot of ways, it stemmed from our hoop dancing group and seeing how they've evolved and brought in these programs to the Pueblo. And then it's expanded into more positive programming throughout the years. And now we have parents and community members that are involved. And that's really important for our youth, to know that the parents and the community members are there to support them and help them. Within our program, we do have, like I said, we are very close knit. We partner up with the Poe Museum a lot, and actually some of them did go to Unity with us, and our Poe Museum director is actually our drummer as well. So he will be helping us today. We will have a small little performance just so you can see. The Carl Duncan is the Poe director. He's also our drummer. And also the dancer you will see today is Mercedes Sanchez. She was one of the first hoop dancers that started in 2012, and she is 18 now and just graduated from St. Michael's and will be attending UNM now in August. So, and she's also the chair of our youth council. So I'm super excited to introduce her. Of course, she's had to learn how to adapt through her learnings as well. And sometimes, the platforms change wherever they're going to be dancing. And today it's in a hotel room. So you will get to see her. I will pause for a second, and then I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can watch her. There she is. That's Mercedes Sanchez. She is not in full regalia because we were not able to pack it on time. But she did bring her hoops, which is a plus. Wave to the camera. Okay, here we go.
Johnny Goody Langton, Johnny Goody Langton, a shot to let Itahi, Oweyo, Aheo.
Mercedes makes different designs with her hoops.
Johnny Goody Langton, Johnny Goody Langton, a shot to let Ahi, Oweyo, Aheo. Johnny Goody Langton, Johnny Goody Langton, a shot to let Itahi, Oweyo, Aheo. Johnny Goody Langton, Johnny Goody Langton, a shot to let Itahi, Oweyo, Aheo. Johnny Goody Langton, Johnny Goody Langton, a shot to let Itahi, Oweyo, Aheo.
Woo!
Yee! That's beautiful. Good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was Mercedes with her 3 hoops. They usually do 5 hoops, but we had to make it the way that it was, and it was very beautifully done. And as you see with hoop dancing, you see them flow through the movements and change and adapt to their spaces. And I think that's life, and that's what it represents, the circle of life. So we're really proud of our hoop dancing group and our youth council and the programs that it brings with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rafaela. I appreciate you sharing it because it's, talking about hoop dancing and is wonderful, but being able to see the youth and to experience sharing that with her, please give my thanks. And tell me her name once again.
Mercedes, Mersais. Sanchez, Sanchez.
Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful performance. I really, really love that. I appreciate you sharing that because I understand that the Southwest is the birthplace of the hoop dance, and that it's tied in and it has ceremonial roots, which really ties in well with our healing and our connection to our spirituality. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, I just want to give you a round of applause because that was really, very wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, great. I enjoyed the hoop dance presentation, and I'd like now to turn it over to Elwood. Elwood, up to you.
All right. All the way from McLeod, Oklahoma, with the Kickapoo Tribe of Oklahoma, we have Project Director Angela Daly, Project Coordinator Mitchell Colley. I'd like to turn it over to them. These two are an amazing team. They listen to the community, they meet the community where they're at, yet they also try to get creative, and good things come from when they try new things. I'm excited to see their presentation and also excited for the journey that they're taking with their grant. Angela.
All right. Thank you, Elwood. And thank you for everyone being here today. This has been powerful. It's been great presentation so far. I just want to give a "you are worthy" to everybody that has presented so far. So thank you all for allowing us to share a little bit about what we do. So like Elwood said, my name's Angela Daly, and I serve as the project director for our Native Connections grant here with the Kickapoo Tribe of Oklahoma for our Kickapoo Tribal Health Center. So our grant serves under our behavioral health department. I have the honor and privilege of getting to work in this community. I've been working in this community for, gosh, I want to say almost 2 years now. I've been working in the field of prevention for almost 4 or 5 years now. And just every day coming to work, I'm just very thankful to get to share this space and this prevention work that we're doing. I am actually a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, but I'm also a descendant of the Comanche Nation, and I'm also Latina. So that's a little bit about me. But I want to share about our Paint for Prevention. So we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So Paint for Prevention is an activity that we've been doing with our youth. We're hoping to make this an annual event. So during COVID, during the pandemic, we had kits, but of course, what we were looking for was that connection and that community. And so one thing that we always emphasize in any event that we have in our community is you'll see over here on the right, this is a picture of the CRRC, or the Central Resource Center here in McLeod. And this is just really, it's been renovated. And it's just a space. Mitchell even said this is like a landmark in our community, and specifically with the tribe. So this is just a space that we always gather and have a lot of our events at. But one thing that we always tell our participants and families that come into this space is once you walk through those doors, drop everything that might be going on in our lives. Because this moment that we have here together is special, and all of the people in this room, we may never all come back together again. So that's one way that we always start any of our events, and we just encourage them to really lean into the process and lean into the community. So our Paint for Prevention Night, this is hosted during every September to raise awareness for National Suicide Prevention Month. So what we do in this event is that we have paint kits, but we also have resources related to suicide prevention, to those mental health resources to get them connected with the mental health professionals in our community, because we have a huge team in our behavioral health department, from prevention to treatment and everything in between. And so during this event, we provide these paint kits, and we just essentially allow the community to create. We let them know that this is a space of healing, of strength, of courage, promote our culture. And so we encourage them to really just paint any images that have positive messaging, things that make them happy, words of encouragement, positive affirmations, just good healing in their paintings. And we just really let them kind of take the reins on what that looks like. We've had anywhere from messages of like, "You are loved," but one of my favorites was one of our youth that's pretty active in another one of the grants youth coalitions. He was like, "Hey, I really like Ice Spice. Is it okay if I paint Ice Spice?" And I was just like, you know what? This is your time. Go for it. So with this, we were able to get all of their paintings, and we've created we kind of started a project. It really started with another one of our project coordinators that we had at the time. Her name was Crystal Springer, and she really wanted us, she said, "Hey, we have all of these supplies. What if we make a healing wall?" And we were just like, yeah, that's incredible. And so this healing wall has been something that has been evolving over time. And we'll share a little bit more about that. But really, this healing wall, where it started was during our annual Paint for Prevention Night. But really, we have a whole team behind us that put on these events that really pour into the community. And that's really what we try to remind our youth, is that everybody in this space, everybody that supports them, whether they know it or not, are always here for them. So what we want to do now is go ahead and turn it over, because I feel like pictures kind of tell a little bit more of that story. So we want to turn it over for just a short snippet into our Paint for Prevention activity. So we're going to just show you that brief video real quick. So that kind of just showcases a little bit more. So as you can tell, that video, it just kind of showed just that uplifting, positive environment that we really promoted with that event. So this is just a little snippet into just some of our work that we do, but I really want to turn it over. I've had the honor and privilege of working next to Mitchell Colley since the beginning of this year. He's brought a lot of knowledge and um, just something special to this community and this team. And so I'm going to turn it over to him to share a little bit about who he is and our Art for Awareness series that we do as well.
Thank you, Angela. It's been an honor to work alongside you, and it's been an honor to be a good representation for the Kickapoo tribe. Started back in January and kind of hit the ground running with our youth, and it's been a fun ride and a very blessed journey so far. So our Art for Awareness, it's an ongoing series that we host every month, and with our youth, the families, and the community, um, and with our Art for Awareness, we try to instill culture is prevention, with our youth and everyone. And I believe our youth understands now, the importance of art and how art can serve as a way of healing. Um, and they also got a better understanding, and I believe they have an understanding of the importance of not only being strong spiritually and culturally, but mentally. We we share with our youth the importance of mental health, and that we all have our ups and downs, and it's okay to not be okay. And there's we let them know that this place that they come to for a lot of our art events, it's a safe place for them, and they know all of these safe adults, and so um, we've been very blessed to have a group of individuals that just make this job worth coming to every day, and trying to be the best that we can for our youth. And so with our Art for Awareness, a lot of different activities that we have done with our youth. We've taught them about beading, finger weaving, painting, making stress balls. Just recently, a couple of months ago, me and Angela kind of brainstormed starting up and come to find out, a lot of Native Connection grantees across the country are familiar with soup and story time. They utilize that within our own communities, and so we did a trial run with that where the youth showed up that night. I made potato soup for the community. I had the youth, about 6 to 7 girls in there making fry bread with me, making the dough. So they were whipping it up in the kitchen, and we had a good turnout. To see the smile on everyone's face, it was all worth it. To be able to, so we invited the elders out. The youth got to serve dinner to the elders, and then we had some people that shared stories, personal experiences, and we just had a really good time. You can definitely feel that energy in the building that night. I mean, the vibes were good, the love was good. It was a beautiful moment that we all got to share together with the community and with our youth. And Back in February with our teens, they made what they call heart pillows, and it was during Teen Dating Violence and Awareness Month. That was back in February, and so we talked about what all healthy relationships and things, and instilling positive things to look out for, and just kind of brought more awareness to our teens, and man, so our events that we host our Artful Awareness events. They're open to the public. Anyone and everyone is welcome to come out and share this experience with us. If you're in the McLeod area, you're more than welcome. We're definitely open to, if you know anybody in the local area that wants to lead or facilitate um, one of our Artful Awareness events. And, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Angela Daly. And we're always looking for people to share. We're always looking to kind of, showcase other leaders, other natives, that can, kind of give our youth and our community a little bit more knowledge and understanding of our culture. And but um, so that's kind of a synopsis of our Artful Awareness. We are very passionate over here in McLeod, Oklahoma, with our youth. We've just fully embraced our community and our youth. We enjoy being a positive role model to our youth as well. And I mean, it's been a blessing. It really has been a blessing to serve our youth and our community. So we do actually have a short video of our Artful Awareness event that we would like to show y'all.
Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When they do, your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the
So that's
So
just a
that
little
was
bit. Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
yeah, I was just we hope you enjoyed our video. Again, it's been a blessing over here, and we're definitely um a part of a really great team and even greater family over here in McLeod, Oklahoma. So
Thank you. So that's just a little bit, again, a little snippet, because I feel like sometimes those pictures kind of showcase the story a little bit better. So going back to that with the healing wall, this has kind of been like a fusion of like our Paint for Prevention night along with our Art for Awareness series. So it started during the Paint for Prevention night, but it's kind of grown and we've allowed it to grow. So as you can see over there on the right picture, we had our healing wall. So we actually partnered with our the tribe's Head Start program along with our education department, and they have a cultural exchange every year. And this is just a time to honor graduates all the way from Head Start to college to everything in between. And they allow graduates to come out. This is just a time that usually happens during the springtime. And they usually have an honor dance for graduates. But we had our own little corner a couple years ago with our healing wall. And so we encourage the community that if they wanted to showcase any art that can be healing for the community, to bring it. And we'd love to showcase it and put it on here. And this healing wall has kind of traveled to different places. So right now it's sitting in, the CRRC with us right now. But our business committee here at the tribe has been so supportive, and we're so thankful for them for everything that they've supported us with our projects. And I remember one time that they were setting up for either a general council meeting or just a BC meeting. And I remember talking to the BC secretary, and I was just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and shift this wall down. I'm so sorry. We'll go ahead and put it up because we were helping them try to set up for the meeting that was happening. And she's like, oh, no, go ahead and put it. And it was like right behind them. And she's like, I think this is beautiful. Like, just leave it here. It'll be okay. So that's kind of like where we've seen this healing wall travel. And we're hoping to, kind of expand on it and allow youth to add. I've even had 988 information or coloring sheets that they have with the 988 Oklahoma Resource Center online, and we're able to download those. And we've even put those out for youth while we're speaking with them or doing anything. We really encourage them to color while we're talking. And I know at the end of it, some of our younger participants, they'll be like, hey, Angela, can I put this on the healing wall? And we just really encourage anything that they want to share with the community. So that's just been a little bit about our art project. And like Mitch said, I'm thankful to work alongside him and the rest of our team. And we're just thankful to be awarded this program in order to better serve our community in the area. So that's a little bit about what we do. I always kind of plug this, but I will put our Facebook page in the chat. We have a great media outreach specialist that puts together a lot of our videos. So if you ever want to share our journey with us here in McLeod, please feel free to connect with us on Facebook. But thank you.
Thank you, Angela, Mitchell. Everyone, all the presenters, everyone for joining. Thank you all. Like Angela said, you are all worthy. And feel free to reach out to any of the presenters. Questions, thinking session. But yeah, I turn it over to Marie.
Thank you, Elwood. Thank you, everyone. It looks like we're heading over to question and answer, and just like that, we already have one. So I'm going to ask Valerie Bill if you'd like to unmute yourself, and I see your hand is raised. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much. It was really great presentations from all three, and love to hear more. I know you all have more to share, and I'm grateful that you took the opportunity to share a little bit with us today. So Valerie, if you're ready, go right ahead.
I was just looking for the website, but I found it. They put it in the chat box.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Thank
great.
you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? It's as simple as that. Just unmuting yourself and coming off mute. And I don't know if you have a question or if you have an answer for someone, or if you'd like to make a comment for our presenters. Just want to positively encourage our youth to continue to, have us hear your voice there, Richard, or Peyton. I know she's not on, but if you could share that with Peyton for us. And yes, the healing wall, continue that. Expressing ourselves through dance. Thank you, Rafaela, for having your daughter come on and share with us. I know sometimes our youth can be shy, and so we just really want to say thank you for her willingness to share today. I do have a comment here in the chat. It says, this was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for the art you shared. Truly lovely and impactful. And yes, very inspirational, I would say as well. So great efforts. Anyone else? I can only see a little bit of the chat or the screen for the participants. So I don't know if anyone else has their hand raised. Nothing's come up, but
Hey, Marie.
Yeah, go ahead, BC.
Yeah, this is BC, and I got to echo what Dominique said. This was really a very inspiring presentation. But I did have a question for Kickapoo. You said that everyone is invited, and I am a little bit familiar with that community there. It's kind of small. I know you're near Shawnee, they're a bigger city, but do you get non-natives attending some of your functions there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some events that are specific for youth and we have some events that are specific for tribal members, but typically with our art events, we open them to the community and the reason why, and we really have a great partnership even like with local school districts around the area. We have a great partnership with the local library. It is a close-knit community, like you said, and yeah, we have had quite a bit of people that show up, non-natives, natives alike, because one thing that I like to mention too is like, I'm sure many other communities, but McLeod is an off-reservation rural tribal community. So whenever we're talking with our community partners in the area, specifically, like whenever we have a program that's named Native Connections, oftentimes it may be met with like, oh, well, can I attend if I'm non-native? Or if it says Kickapoo, can I attend if I'm not Kickapoo? But we remind people that the community that we're in, there's several tribes. There's a lot of our youth are intertribal too, but there's also a lot of like we are right there in the community. And so we invite everybody, non-natives, natives, tribal members, non-tribal members, because we try to remind them that there's strength in numbers and that the more resources that we combine together in this partnership that we make, it'll better serve the community and our youth. So to answer your question, long and short of it, yeah, we do have non-natives that come to our events.
That's great. I did have another question. Your program just looks so entertaining. I could see a lot of people wanting to take part in it, but I know you're also trying to, stay within the Native Connections framework there. And you mentioned, you'll talk about various topics. Do you have those structured for each event? What the topic might be that you're going to discuss?
Yeah, so like what Mitch had mentioned is like an example of that was typically with each awareness month, we try to tie that into our Art for Awareness Month. So like in February with Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, we made sweetheart pillows, but then we incorporated it with a lot of the prevention education as well. So we try to do it in a fun and innovative way where we meet our youth where they're at. Because, no different than us here in this room. Sometimes we get Zoom fatigue. Sometimes if we have a presentation, our mind can wander. We're thinking about, man, that lunch was really good or anything like that. So anything that we can use to keep our youth entertained, but still get that information, we found has been really effective in our community. Same with our adults as well. And we've learned that they have retained the information because whether they know it or not, like Mitch, he did a great job with one of our summer activities. He came up with like a brief questionnaire, but we have like a leaderboard going on. And our youth, if they filled out this questionnaire, we're whether they know it or not, we're asking them essentially, are they retaining the information that we're providing for them? And we've found that they have great answers in these group discussions that we have in, the survey. Well, we don't call it a survey, but for our youth, like if they want to get some more points. But yeah, we typically try to have that structure. So even in May, whenever it was graduation time, whenever we had Mr. Indigenous OU, or for the University of Oklahoma, he came out and taught how to do the beaded graduation caps. But we also provided resources on like, hey, whenever we're dealing with stressors and major life changes like graduation, like going from high school to college or college to the working workforce or whatever that looks like, we try to provide them with resources on how they can navigate that in a healthy way. So we do try to structure it in a way, but like we said, we try to do it in an innovative way where we're engaging the community and meeting them where they're at too.
Well, that sounds fun. I'll turn it back over to Marie. We've got several comments in the chat box, so
Yes,
as we
we
wind up
do.
here, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, BC. Thanks for that. Let's see, we have Aaron Zingler says, such educational and inspiring presentations. Honored I was able to be present and witness. Thank you to those that shared. Dawn Ironhawk says, hello everyone, I am new to the Native Connections grant and I just wanted to say these are all very great ideas and how encourage the youth to come together. Love the presentation. Marty Richardson, one of our GTAs, great presentations and great webinar. I have to leave for another meeting. Thank you, Marty, for being on today. And give it one more chance here. Does anyone else have any comments or questions? Would like to come off mute? You're more than welcome to. Okay. Well, it sounds like that's the end of our presentations. Again, thank you to our presenters today, to the youth, and to those adults that are continuing to encourage and inspire and promote our youth and their healing and their expression. So I just want to thank everyone again for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on art, healing, youth, and community wellness. I hope this inspires you to bring art to your youth programming for healing and well-being. And again, thank you again for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And thanks to our wonderful presenters. I'm so glad that you joined us and shared all the good work you're doing. Take care.